Hi, everyone. It's Maxine and Isabelle, and we are here for episode 10 of Happy AF. We are happy alcohol-free.
And also happy as fuck, as always. So,
10 episodes in, it still makes me laugh.
Right, of course.
It still makes me laugh. We're a couple of days away from St. Patrick's Day.
I'm sure nobody can tell.
Well, listen.
With all the green.
The wearing of the green. You have that lovely dark forest green. I'm in this like full-on bright green.
And I'm wearing
like the Irish flag right now.
All the emeralds I own, everything together.
I love. Oh, those are gorgeous.
Mainly for Irish Day.
Yes.
And also to piss the shit out of my sister. My sister is a Taurus. So emerald is her stone.
Oh, yes.
She's been dying to have these big emeralds, but those are all inherited, passed down by mother-in-laws.
Yes, yes.
And
you're
I'm the one who's getting all the emeralds,
you ain't getting them.
Makes her crazy.
Look at I'm wearing my little emeralds. So it's one of the only things I have from my mother, who was also a Taurus.
Oh.
So emerald was is her. So yeah, we're talking about all things Emerald Isle. And actually, we're talking today about nationalities, associations with alcohol and drinking. And we are, we're going to redefine the whole celebration situation one stereotype at a time. But first, we need a little liquid joy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with what we're drinking today for St. Patrick's Day. You're drinking. So I love this. It's cedars, and they have a couple of them. This one's called Wild, and it's aromatic and spicy, according to this. Juniper, clove, and rooibos.
Oh,
How do you say that?
I don't know, but I know that's
right?
tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is, they call it cedars and tonics.
The
So it's supposed to be
bottle
like a gin.
The bottle is so pretty, by the way.
The bottle is so gorgeous. I love it. So you're having that. You're drinking that neat, lady.
Neat.
And then this is, I love this, Wilfred's. It's a non-alcoholic aperitif, bitter orange and rosemary. And it's got a little bit of sparkle to it. And I mix it with Fever Tree Sicilian lemonade. And it's like, it's kind of summer in a glass, if you ask me. But it's a delicious alcohol-free beverage. Cheers, my love.
Cheers. The first time I ever drank too much was on gin. So I have an aversion to gin. But this is really good. It was gin. I was at my friend's. We were at our mountain cabin, but it was a trailer. No disrespect to trailers, but when you're 12, I was 12 or 13, it's all the same. But
oh my God, my cartoon brain now has just gone to this image
how white trash can you get?
Yes.
My first drinking episode was drinking gin in a trailer, and we did not have 7-Up, so we mixed it with Mountain Dew.
Oh,
no, you cannot get more white trash than that. That's really trash. So I remember sitting on her bed.
I don't know. Gin is kind of highbrow for your first drinking.
Probably not the gin we got our hands on.
Okay, right.
And in that trailer with Mountain Dew, so I developed an aversion for both gin and Mountain Dew.
In my mind right now, you also only have some of your teeth. And there's
well, actually, I have a gold one.
Oh, wow.
I do have a gold tooth. I went all out when I lost it. No, listen, man. I don't do the shit. I don't do the white trash halfway. I go all in. Trailer, Mountain Dew, and gold tooth.
I know you were
smoking. I was smoking cigarettes. I certainly was. Oh, wow. Who knew? This is all coming back to me.
Oh, it's all coming back.
Shit. Well, cheers to that.
Wow.
Cheers to memories.
Everybody has one of those... the drink that you got so terribly drunk on. So mine, and I think many people share this, tequila.
Really?
Because it was the shot thing. And
I
was in grad school in London, and it was my birthday.
Right.
And we went, I remember it up to a point.
Right.
Actually, back then I wasn't drinking to blackout. I don't know. I think the blackout drinking came much, much later for me. But I was in grad school, so I was probably, 22 or 23. I remember it was a bar in Covent Garden, and the bartender said, "Oh, your friend said it's your birthday, so we're gonna do a shot for every day of the week."
Oh, wash. Ugh.
So let me just tell you, and the 20-something Maxine was like, "I see you. I can do this," and I did it. And I remember the next.
Did you not get sick?
Oh, violently ill.
I didn't even get sick on the gin.
To the point that, and this was back living in London, in my first apartment in London, I lived in a tiny studio by Hyde Park because I had this vision. I always go at things with a vision. I'm like, I want to live near the park.
Right.
I did the same thing when I came to New York, and all my New York friends were like, are you a billionaire? You can't live by the park.
Right.
And I'm like,
You're like,
but
I certainly
was
can
like,
if it's in the back alley.
correct. And I was like, so this is what I did in London. And I found this like little studio apartment that was one room. It wasn't a studio apartment. This woman had converted the house into studios, and it was a bedroom with a Murphy bed. It was a studio.
I lived in one of those in New York.
Murphy bed came down off the wall.
No
windows.
windows.
And you could, this had a big, beautiful window.
I didn't have
and
a window.
it was 2 blocks from Hyde Park.
Wow.
So I was living the dream. I was like, yes, I live by Hyde Park. And I remember lying in that bed. This is burned on my memory. Lying in that bed,
until
in that
the tequila
Murphy bed,
shots.
I had to get
I'm saying it's burned in your memory until the tequila shots.
Yeah, until the tequila. Tequila. I love how you were saying that now.
It's tequila.
The tequila shots. That sounds way better than tequila. But the hangover was so bad. The apartment was so small. The studio was so small that you could touch the bathroom door from the bed, but I couldn't make it to the toilet. So I had a pot, a giant pot next to my bed. And after that, I never, ever, ever
drank tequila,
touched tequila again. The smell of it, when someone else would have it, I would be like, whoa.
That's how I feel about gin.
So bad.
And by the way, I read in many places by doctors, not people that don't want to drink, experts on addiction and stuff like that, that people such as myself, so for instance, didn't get sick on the gin episode.
Okay.
Felt like shit.
But didn't get sick.
And I can't remember the last time I got sick drinking. I was 14 years old and I drank a ton of beer. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't get sick drinking, and I had seldom hangovers. And if I did have a hangover, they were brutal because I went all out.
Yes.
No sick. And apparently people such as myself, I'm not alone, are way more prone to getting hooked on alcohol because we don't have really bad effects, number one. And number two, something with the biology that makes you even more prone, right?
Okay.
That you can take it and your tolerance just go build and build and build,
Which, I don't know. It sounds a little smarter than those of us who got violently ill,
I look classier doing it, but I felt like shit. But oh my God, the gin and the tequila.
No, I've had plenty of the episodes where I'm like, you're so sick, vomiting. And I'm like, I'm never going to drink again. And then, 4 days later.
And speaking of that, this weekend, I was up in Canada and my sister last weekend so kindly made a little St. Valentine's Day dinner thingy with my mom and stuff. It was perfect. It was so sweet. And she had a girlfriend of hers that I know, and everybody's so nice. My sister's friends are so nice. And her friend was asking me all of a sudden, goes hey, Isabelle, can I ask you, why don't you drink anymore? Which, cool. Yeah. I'm like, hey, man.
I love it when someone's just straight up about it and asks you versus gossiping and talking shit behind your back.
Right. But I didn't want to dwell too much onto it because everybody there is like, oh man, I heard this shit 5,000 times. Right. Yes. So I wanted to kind of be I try to summarize it. Yeah. But then, so I summarized in 6 words. And then she goes, so do you think you were an alcoholic? And I was going to answer, I had zero problem with that. I used to say I was an alcoholic when I was drinking, right? Yes. But then after reading all about it, some people debate, is there such a thing?
Right.
Does that even exist?
And does the label matter?
Right. So I was going to do the PC thing about the label because I really don't give a fuck. Before I had time to say anything, when I thought my sister and my mom were paying zero attention, my sister quickly is like, oh, definitely.
You're like, so wow, I'm sorry. Are you answering for me?
So I was like, no, you really feel. So I was like, all these years, and now you're saying it. So I thought it was really funny because it was she looked like she wasn't paying attention when she heard the word alcoholic. She's like, oh yeah, she definitely was. I was like, fuck you.
Oh, okay, that's hilarious.
That was really funny.
That is funny. Really funny. So, speaking of Valentine's, I was traveling, remember? And I was texting you. Oh my gosh, I haven't talked to you since that plane episode that I text you about.
What was
the people next to me?
Oh, but you didn't really go into details.
So it was also
people got
so
drunk.
bad to the point the flight attendant was.
Well, start from the beginning.
So start from the beginning. On a lovely JetBlue flight, can't remember now where I was going because I've been on a plane every week. Where was I going? I was going.
Make it up.
I was going down
Tahiti.
to California.
Say Tahiti. Something fancy.
I was going to Palm Beach.
Fiji.
I was going to Palm Beach.
Bora
So
Bora.
I was on a JetBlue flight, and the two women who got in next to me were so lovely. One of them had a dog, so there was a whole thing about the dog. There's always a thing about somebody and their dog.
I love that.
Anyway, she gets on board with the dog, and then she's swapping the dog. The husband is sitting in front of her. She's very young. I want to say, she's probably in her 30s, and she has this pug with her that comes out and goes on her lap and da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't know, this is a therapy dog or something.
Right.
And then the other lady who sits on the inside and I'm on the aisle, I always have to be on the aisle because I pee like every 30 minutes. So they, the drinks comes along and I order my Diet Zero Coke or whatever.
Ooh, don't drink that shit. It's full of chemicals. Go for the real deal.
I rarely have it.
Fine.
And I have it on an airplane.
Is it your, okay, it's the airplane with the rom-com.
Yeah.
You get a pass.
Yeah.
You get a pass.
Coke Zero on the airplane.
Fine.
It's just fine. Until they start, by the way, when are they going to start serving alcohol-free
I don't know,
freaking
but
drinks on the airplane?
They better start soon, man.
Let's go. Everyone else is getting on board. So anyway, the girl orders, and I knew as soon as she placed her order, I was like, oh, shit.
This is going downhill
She
fast.
ordered a tequila and soda, and then as the flight attendant gave it to her, she was like, you know what, you might as well just give me two.
Oh,
and
no,
I was like,
that kind of drinking.
That kind of drinking.
I was a good drinker on
then the
airplane.
woman next to her was like, oh, you're right. I'm going to. So she had two vodkas or two gins or whatever. And then the girl next to me had two tequilas. Now, I then zone out. I was working. I was rehearsing my lines and my lyrics, and I was in the zone. So I wasn't really paying attention to how many times. But clearly multiple times the drinks were passed in front of me.
And by the way, I'd like to interject, which would be fine if they're the kind of alcoholic that I was, I can keep it down. But doesn't sound like it because I would have ordered one at a time.
Slowly but surely, while I'm not paying attention, the wheels are coming off to the point that then the flight attendant is like leaning over to me and the husband is in the front. He's turning around. So I take my headphones out and I'm like, what's going on? I look at the girl next to me. This is probably like, 2 hours into the flight.
Yeah.
She's bawling, crying.
Oh, no.
The flight attendant is saying, Miss, you may not have any more. And she was like, I will tell you when I want more. And I was like, oh, God. Then the husband is turning around. Now the woman in front of me, he was not drunk.
Okay.
He was not drunk, but he was
embarrassed.
I was actually sad because I was like, I wonder if this is an abusive relationship as well, because he was treating her like a child. And she was behaving like a child, but he was like, shut up, you're embarrassing me. And then the woman next to him, he starts turning around and she's wasted and she's slurring her speech. And I'm like, what am I
and then they're not friends, right? They're perfect
total
strangers.
So she's telling the husband to calm down.
Oh, no.
And she's like, leave her alone. Leave her alone. Listen, then she's weighing into the girl next to me and she's like, you're all right, honey. You're all right. Just don't drink anymore. Just don't. And I'm like, oh, God, I need to put my headphones back in. But all the time, I'm like, hey, everybody, I think you should tune into our podcast.
So then what happened? I love how you imitate the drunk. You have a good, just perfect drunk person American accent.
It's not like it's when
just
you're not. You don't
borderline.
think you're drunk, and you're insisting you're not
drunk. But at least she's keeping it together. The lady in the middle was keeping it together.
No, she was bawling her eyes out.
No, the other one.
The other one. Yeah. No, she was on the window, and she was keeping it together, and she was like, and then the dog starts barking, and so the flight attendant comes up, and it was like, I was like, why is there not cameras? I want to be filming this. And,
you should have. Everybody's on the news with their fucking camera in their face. You should be like, I'm filming this.
I'm like, guys, do you mind if I just capture some B-roll
for
my podcast? So
then what happened? How did it end up?
No, so it ended. We were about to land now. This is going on for the whole thing. And I can't get my AirPods to be loud enough to drown it out because she keeps going. The woman in the middle is crying. And she's, when you're repeating yourself when you're drunk.
Oh, my God.
So 1,000 times she said, I'm not. And I was like, please don't involve me because I really don't want to get involved in this. And then part of me wants to be like, okay, I think you maybe need to not drink. Take
water,
a break.
Take a break.
So they land anyway. We're on the runway and the flight attendant comes over and she says, I have reported you.
No.
And you will not be welcome on a JetBlue flight. So then the husband gets so mad. So there's like a domestic situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did the husband say?
He was like, you're a fucking disgrace. And then the random woman is like, you all need to calm down.
She's like the voice of reason.
But she's totally slurring her speech. And she's like, everybody needs to stop yelling. I'm like, all right, I have not had enough Coke Zero.
You were like, I like how you're doing the drunk woman. You're just doing it perfect. I'm a sucker for an imitation. I like any imitation. That's my thing. I love it.
Yeah. So that was my flight down to Florida. But
that's so lucky though. I love a good drama.
Yeah.
But you were busy.
Then I was a
know.
little bit sad.
Oh, it is a little bit
you
sad,
know
but
what
it's
I
also a
mean?
little bit funny.
Oh no,
no,
I
but
mean,
no,
I
it's
was
sad.
like,
It's sad.
No, but there was a sadness in me because
Of
I looked at
course.
her and thought, oh shit, it didn't need to be like this.
Plus,
And then
can you
I thought
imagine
about when she gets off the
your
plane,
husband
she's got to deal with the husband.
And the
She's got to
husband?
they got to drive somewhere together. The dog. I'm like,
It might
don't
be
feed the
why. It
dog.
might be why she overdoes it though. Maybe
This
like
is-
there's some
no,
weird
that is why I was,
dynamics.
and so that was what was making me
That's
sad.
sad.
I was like,
Yeah.
are you medicating? Are you
Yes.
self-medicating because something else is going on? And then of course my brain starts going to all different places of what
Like I'm
these
imagining
people's
her
lives.
life.
And she was easily 20 years younger than him. So and then I was like, oh God, I'm writing a movie in my head.
And I can imagine like the ex-wife like seeing this and being like, ha ha ha, you fucking asshole. I told you what would happen when you trade me in for a new model, right? Oh, I
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah.
Payback for this asshole. He shouldn't have cheated on his wife. Now, no, we don't know, but I'm assuming that's
Do you
what
see
happened.
where we're taking it? We have written a little mini
You know
series
who
here.
I feel bad for? The dog.
No, this is what I was
Living in
thinking. I
this
was like, what if they leave
horrible-
the dog in the airport or something?
Oh.
Because she was so drunk, she didn't know what was happening. And the
Oh, wow.
crying and the mascara was running down her face and she couldn't keep herself together. And I was like, oh shit, this is
Wow.
bad. It felt like a moment that needed an intervention. But I was
But
like,
well, guess what? The stewardess did it.
the
I can't
flight
believe she got
attendant did.
barred.
Yes. Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I don't know if that happened, but that's what she said. She was like, "You are not. You're not welcome on a JetBlue flight. You treat me so badly. You were da da da." And I was like, "Oh God." She was like, "You're upset."
Wow.
So yeah, that was my little story. What else did I want to tell you about traveling? Oh, the other thing, wherever I was in Detroit for
Right.
Valentine's Day. I had a concert that night. But this was a moment where I was like, look at the world changing. I always go to a Whole Foods and buy myself, or a grocery store, whatever, to get sparkling water for my room and
they do
berries
have
and things.
some non-alcoholic wine.
So they had a whole Valentine's display of non-alcoholic beverages for Valentine's Day.
So nice, right?
I was so impressed with them. You know, they had because the store was all done up with cookies and
Right,
chocolates
right.
and then they had this whole display and they had maybe 3 or 4 different non-alcoholic champagnes, which I took pictures of because I haven't tasted all of them.
Right.
I did taste the Josh
Okay.
sparkling, non-alcoholic sparkling. It was nice. It was good.
You know, it's funny you talk about that because that was not on my list of things to talk about, but we do that a lot. So when I travel a lot for work.
Yes.
And, I think anyone who's listened to this a little bit knows that I've developed an addiction for non-alcoholic wine and I refuse to quit it. And I don't give a fuck, right?
Nobody's asking you to.
Sometimes my husband's like, ooh, that's a lot of, yesterday goes, I don't know if I gave myself like a Florida pour. We call it a Florida pour. When you fill
An
your glass
airline
on the way
pour?
to the top. Simply because I didn't feel like going back up, right?
Yeah.
And I use you like the Waterford, I like the Rydell glass,
Yes,
blah, blah.
yes.
So it kind of doesn't match, right? You don't fill the Rydell all the way. It's kind of like, it's stupid. But it's like putting like a freshener in your Porsche. Anyway, so my point is, my husband goes, "Whoa, there's a lot of acidity in that glass." And I looked at it, I was like, "There's a lot of alcohol in yours, asshole."
You're like, sit down, Brooks. A lot of acidity.
I don't even want to hear
You're like,
it.
guess what's not in there though?
So,
ethanol.
Like 2 days ago, my teeth in the bottom were
funny.
hurting really bad. And I think it's because I was dreaming and I clenched, right?
Gosh, I'm going through the same thing. Actually, the whole of America right now is clenching.
Right. So I was clenching and then my teeth in the bottom was like, oh man. And that hadn't happened to me in a long time. So I was like, I think I'm clenching. And he's like, ooh, it could be the acidity in your NA wine. And I was like, listen, man.
Okay, he needs to stop blaming the
Number
NA wine
one.
for
And
everything.
number 2, I was like, Dan, I'm just going to go buy Pepsi AC. I mean, I don't fucking care. I'm not giving up this shit. Anyway,
or
my
you need to
point
get
is,
one of the things. My
do.
dentist gave it to me and I never wear it.
Listen, I used to have one. That's a whole different podcast. But I went to Invisalign because I thought I have a massive overbite and they reduced it by 0.01%. But what the Invisalign also did, and I don't want to get sued by Invisalign because I love it, I still need to wear it at night. So it replaces a mouth guard, but it's not quite as, you could chew through it, which I haven't. But what it did, because some inbred white people like me have thin gums. So it reduced my overbite by 0.01%. I'm the only one that can see it, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have an overbite. Instead of looking like a horse, I look like a donkey. That's the only difference. But what it did is my gums were like, we don't like that. So I had to put $20,000 worth of gum repair, which is also very painful because all my gums went, so that's a different podcast. But what I want to talk about was traveling.
Yes, yes.
Before I land, when I start getting Wi-Fi, I Google the liquor store around where I'm going to go.
Oh, this is smart.
I call them and I'm like, do you have non-alcoholic wine? And so by the time, and then if they say yay, I say, okay, could you put what brand you have? And then they tell me, because I'm still a bit of a snob. And then when I find the red and the white I like, I have them put the white in the fridge and I'm like, I'll be there in an hour. So every time I go somewhere.
You are so resourceful.
Because I'm like, when I get to my hotel, I need a cocktail.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I need something.
So I love this. This is a great idea. Of all of the people out there making apps, everybody's making an app. Can somebody make an app with non-alcoholic
and that you can buy it online and then they wait for you and you come and you grab it.
Yeah.
So if you think your airport, I think your airplane story is better than my story that I'm going to say about bad stories because yours was really funny. Mine is a little bit sad. So we went, for me it was sad, but nobody died or anything. But we went to a really nice restaurant in New York City in Dumbo.
Yes.
And not nice that like you have to like wear a gown, you know, that it's $600 a person. Like not that nice.
No, but a nice restaurant.
Normal nice. Yeah. Normal nice, not like just pizza. Anywho, and he's a famous chef, this person. So I go with my two husbands, Brooks and Kevin, because Kevin's husband was unavailable. And so there we're going to drink. And I brought my poison, which is fine. And I had been there before with my friend Orly, and she's like a barfly there. And I had brought my poison, non-alcoholic wine, and they had let me have it without paying a corkage fee. And I was like, great. And this time Orly wasn't with me, so I was not gonna. So I said, you know, last time I was able, I didn't want to sneak it. You know, it was like I was able to drink non-alcoholic wine. You don't have it on the menu,
right?
So I'll pay corkage fee. It's okay. They're like, okay, no problem. So do you know how much a corkage fee was for non-alcoholic wine? And by the way,
I mean, if it's anything more than $20, it's bullshit.
It was $58.
What?
So actually, my husbands who were drinking booze were more pissed. $58 fucking dollars. And I remember thinking, what if I decline and I just drank water? Then if you tell me it's $15, fine. I didn't decline because I was already in and my two husbands were drinking and I didn't want, and it was an expense account. So I didn't tell anyone at work that I do this podcast. So I wasn't paying for it. If I were paying for it, I'd walked out, but I wasn't. But my point is like, okay, so if I declined the corkage fee and just drank tap water, you would have been shit out of luck. You had made no money. So now what's going to happen is none of us, like my husband,
You're
Brooks,
not going back there? You're not bringing your drinking friends with you either?
And my gay husband was like, I'm never going back there.
So I have a question. Well, you probably don't know the answer to this. What would the corkage have been for alcohol? Was it the same?
I guess 58.
So they were just charging you the same?
Yes.
Listen, here's the thing for any restaurateurs out there listening. So we have a number of calls to action today. We need airlines to start carrying non-alcoholic wine. We need some app innovator person to get an alcohol-free, a non-alcoholic tracking for liquor stores. And we need restaurants
to carry non-alcoholic wine.
Listen, some of them are amazing.
Oh,
some of them are
in Vermont, there's a lot that carry it. Yeah.
And I've been to plenty of places that have great choices and great mocktails and all that stuff. But like, if you're going to a place that is not offering the alcohol-free option, then you should just be allowed to bring it yourself.
Or if you're going to charge something, make it like another place I'd gone right there. Like, well, I'll charge you the price of a glass of wine. Fine. That's reasonable. I get it. Your business trying to make money, blah, blah. But and they can't say, well, you're taking someone's seat. No, we're at the table of three, whether I'm there or not.
Also,
these guys are coming.
It's an expensive restaurant. You're spending hundreds of dollars on food.
Right.
And now you've just lost 3 customers. And then all the friends you're going to tell.
Right, exactly. Whereas like the next day, I went to a pizzeria, really good pizzeria in Brooklyn. Same thing. I told the guy.
Very good what?
pizzeria.
Oh, pizzeria. I mean, I know you so and love you so,
Oh,
but
I
every
don't
now and again,
mind.
I'm like, I don't know what that word
I
is.
don't really care. Like, you
But
know,
it
like
sounds so good. The pizza. Say it again.
pizzeria.
No, but say it fast. Your pizzeria, pizzeria, pizzeria. And you know the word
You know,
patisserie in
it's
French. I'm like
patisserie. Oh,
patisserie.
right.
Like so many people don't know how to say that the way fabulous French people say it.
Patisserie. But
Patisserie.
anywho, so this guy,
Anyway, you're at a
I
pizzeria.
walked in the pizzeria and I said, I have non-alcoholic wine. He's like, that's fine. And he's the owner. And I was like, but I'll pay a corkage fee. I insisted. And then finally he's like, oh, okay. So he charged me the price of a glass of wine. And then he was not
So
going to charge
fair.
me anything.
Listen, if nothing, we are fair.
Right. Just put non-alcoholic wine
Yes.
on your menu and then I won't
Yes.
bring my own shit.
Yes.
So I thought, and then the other restaurant in Quebec was worse because I was called disrespectful. So we went to we were like a
What?
large group. We're like 8 people. We go to this restaurant, which is more like a pub, by the way. It's a
Okay.
pub. It's got a pool bar, a pool table, and we're like 8 of us. And by the way, it's me and Brooks that organize this whole beeswax, right? My mom is there, and my mom is really sneaky. So she loves that I don't drink anymore because she likes the idea of sneaking my stuff in. That's like the best part of our night, like for me
but
to
listen,
sneak it.
I love that about your mom, but this is another reason why we're doing this podcast. It's like, let's change the narrative, guy.
Right.
Let's not be sneaking
Sneaky.
non-alcoholic
But
wine
I think
in.
then
but-
you'll really
yeah.
remove like her pleasure. Like
Okay.
she
All right.
enjoys
We'll find
that
her
so
to-
much.
we'll
We'll
find
something else.
something
We'll sneak something else on her. But
to
anywho,
sneak.
so we sneak because in Quebec, booze is owned by the state. Right,
Yes.
but this is non-alcoholic, and their Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola is not bought by the state liquor people. It's bought by the Pepsi Cola distributor. So
Yes.
don't tell me that every beverage has to come. It's called the sack. Don't tell me all the beverages have to come for the sack because that's bullshit. Because they're water, they're sparkling water, their
Right.
sodas don't come from there, right? So I had asked before if I could bring booze there, and Ned said no, non-alcoholic booze. Whereas another restaurant graciously said yes, same owner. But I guess the manager didn't
So
know.
they said no to you bringing it.
Yes, last time.
So-
So
it's just
my mom's
ridiculous.
like, sneak it. I'm like, she's like, everybody else is drinking, just sneak it. I'm like, all right. She's so into it. Fuck it,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sneaking.
yeah.
And we're like at the back of the restaurant. This is a pub and it's packed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I got my little bag with and everybody at the table is drinking wine. So they're gonna make money on us and
Yes.
beer and stuff. The lady saw so originally I put a glass of wine and the busboy saw me and I said, oh, it's non-alcoholic. He said nothing, but he went to tell the manager.
Oh, for goodness
So
sake.
she came over to me and she's like, you're not allowed to drink your own stuff from outside. I was like, it's not alcoholic. Look at the bottle, smell it. And she's like, well, I understand, but you're not allowed to bring anything from the outside. And I was like, that's bullshit. I came here with water before. You know, you're coming from a hike and you're
Right.
Anyway, and she's like, so please, don't drink anymore. I was like, all right, I'll just finish my glass, right? So then my mom is like, my mom is like, sip it. And every time you sip it, refill it. So your glass is always half full. Because it's like a pub. We know everybody there. We're walking around. Like it's not a sit-down restaurant. It's like
Yeah.
chaos in there. There's a bar and stuff. So it's hard to keep track,
And
right?
this is in Quebec City.
Yeah, no, it's in Mont Tremblant, where
Oh,
we're the lake
yes.
house. Yeah.
Oh, I love
So
that
it's like it's chaos. We know everybody in there. So it's hard
Oh
to
my
keep.
God, is it that famous bar?
Which one?
What's it called? Oh, are we?
I
you
don't
wanna talk
want
about
to
it?
get in trouble. It's called something.
No.
What? No.
Okay.
It's in the old town. Anywho,
Okay.
lo and behold, she was watching me. So she comes a half
Okay,
hour
so she
later,
needs- somebody needs to
watching
give
me, and
her
she goes
something
to
to
me and she's
do.
like, I've seen you report your glass. And I felt like saying, my mom told me to do it. But I was like, because
Yeah, my mom did it.
my mom was literally like, she's not looking, go. Like she was loving this way too much. And she goes, you're being extremely disrespectful. And I felt bad because she was a little bit right that I was being disrespectful in the sense that she had given me marching order and me and my mom chose to ignore it. So
Yes.
she had a point. So I couldn't get offended because I had been a little bit of an asshole. But at the same time, I felt as though they were not being very nice. That we
Well,
were
it's not being
spending
accommodating. And
we were
again,
spending hundreds of dollars
Right.
on alcohol and
Right.
food. Hundreds. We're 8, right?
Yeah.
And there's the one asshole, me.
I mean, I'm
sneaking.
sorry that she's being disrespectful.
She was not being very nice.
She was being disrespectful. I'm sorry. I'm flabbergasted by this
Yeah.
because what on earth?
And
What on earth? Everybody else is drinking and eating and spending
Yes,
money.
and worst part, what she doesn't know is they just got bought out by an owner. Her name is Julie, who's a lovely woman who has another
All
restaurant.
right, we need to be talking to Julie.
Yeah,
okay.
Brookswell. And the other restaurant Same thing, but it's a nicer, fancier
Yes,
restaurant.
and they let you bring it.
Not only that, I was like, can I bring my non-alcoholic wine? They're like, of course. I was sitting at the bar. They're like, here. And they put it on. I was leaving in my bag.
So
They're like,
here's
put it
what
on the
I
bar.
think. I think that was a person issue.
Maybe. I think she was like, I
She
don't like
sounds
this
like
woman with the
she didn't
overbite.
like you.
She didn't like the
And then
overbite.
once she saw you trying to
I
pull one
think-
over,
yeah.
she was going all in. It's people like that. I put them in the same category back in the day when I used to go to nightclubs. The guys at the door and the door. I don't know. Remember, we used to call them door whores. I don't know.
Yes.
But,
And they're fucking
we're-
velvet robe.
and the clipboard. And I'm like, you are on a power trip.
Power trip.
And this is the highest level of power you are ever going to
yeah,
reach.
yeah.
So you are absolutely milking
Abusing it.
So she was on a power trip
And
to
my
shut you down.
mom wanted to get it. She wanted to get in the middle of it with her. And
Okay,
I
I
take
love
my
your mom.
5 feet tall mom. I was like, Mom, that's enough. She was like up on her chair and trying. And I was like, let's not do this. She was like the drunk woman by the window. That was my mom, except she was cold sober, like trying to give her the right act. Like I was being abused. I
Oh
was like,
my
no,
God.
let's but yeah, so that's what happened.
Wow.
So
Well, oh gosh, I don't know. Well, listen, I keep thinking about how the world is changing and like restaurants, they've got to see the future. And you can't, I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, the business of it, right? You can't open a newspaper or a magazine anymore
true.
and not see an article about how the big alcohol industry is hurting.
Right.
Big time. I read an article about the drop in red wine consumption in France for like the
Yes.
first time in history.
Right.
And this is perfect because what we're talking about today is our national identity. So, for me, how many times I couldn't count how many times someone will say, oh, you're Irish, you love a beer. Oh, you're Irish, you love to drink.
Right.
Oh, you're Irish. I can't think of another nationality that is more intrinsically linked with drinking than Irish. I mean, the
Yeah, I
French
think
and
you're
wine.
up there.
too.
No, I think Irish, you're right. I think you guys
I
are
think
up
we
there.
probably have the
Yeah.
number one spot.
Yeah.
And it's always offended me, even when I was a drinker.
Right.
Like because it's the drunken Irish thing,
Yeah.
which if you are Irish, by the way, most of us know where that stemmed from, right?
Right.
It stems from the caricature from hundreds of years of colonization by England and having to read signs in England and eventually in America, no dogs, no
Right.
Irish, no blacks. It's because we were put in a category of being
Sub.
of being
Subpar.
yes,
Right.
of being unintelligent drunkards, and that was the propaganda that was used in colonization,
Right.
and very much so,
So funny.
in Ireland.
It's very common that's very similar, except we don't have the reputation, but it's the same dog stigma that was with French Canadian, like
Yes.
that subpar.
Yes.
The Anglos were
you
on
are
top.
lesser.
We're lesser.
You are you're
Uneducated,
unintelligent,
unsophisticated.
incorrect, uneducated, and capable only of
And
menial
funny.
tasks. And so when you gather, you just get drunk.
And beer was the equivalent to that. And that's why French Canadians in the 70s, 60s, and before that were drinking beer.
Yes.
And when they started going to university and stuff and being bilingual and wanted to raise themselves,
yeah.
they would try to switch to wine.
Oh, interesting.
Seeing that, like that
Yeah,
old
and I mean,
beer
Ireland,
Irish.
No, we don't have
Right.
wine. I mean, maybe there's
Right.
wine in Ireland. I don't know. I haven't lived at home for 25 years.
Right.
So, but I go home all the time. But the idea of that always got my back up.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
used
yeah.
to get really offended. And I have I've still got some classic stories about what people say to you because you're Irish. One of my favorite ones is I had just moved to America.
Mhm.
And it just comes again. Everything comes back to lack of information or
Right.
misinformation or education. But this guy that I met with a friend of mine in a bar one night in New York, and she introduced me to him as Irish. And he was like, oh my God, I love the Irish and I love that movie Braveheart.
I've never seen it, but I
And
know
I'm
what
like,
it's
well,
about.
that's not fucking about Ireland. Okay.
Plus, isn't it an
Quick little
Australian
secret.
playing the
No,
role?
he's Australian, and
Right.
it's the movie's about Scotland,
Right.
And I'm like, okay, not the same, not the same, not
That's
the same.
really funny.
And
That's
then
really
the
funny.
whole the other thing that the Irish, it's like I will say to some They're like, oh, you're Irish. And again, now people will say to me, oh, you don't sound that Irish. I'm like, well, I'm not lying to you. Like, I've been away from home for a long time.
Right.
But then when people say, oh my God, where are you from? And I'll say, oh, I grew up in Cork. Oh, do you know John Murphy?
Oh, yes.
And I'm
Right.
like, I do. Yes, I know all the John Murphys in Ireland.
Yeah, I know.
All 3 million of them. Yeah, that one cracks me up. But people talk about St. Patrick's Day, and it's when I came to my first St. Patrick's Day in New York, my mind was blown because back then, and I know it has changed in the last 2 decades because of the globalization of the St. Patrick's Day debauchery.
Uh-huh.
When I grew up in Ireland, St. Patrick's Day was a national holiday, I say akin to Thanksgiving, right?
Right. Okay.
So you
Big
you have
deal
a,
then.
a huge deal. It's our national holiday. It's
Right.
like your 4th of
It's
July
like,
in America.
It's like in
your
Quebec or Saint Jean Baptiste. It's like a big deal.
Correct. It's like Bastille Day. It's our national
Right.
holiday. And it's not actually when we're
But do you all
celebrating.
get together as a family or you get
Yes.
wasted like
No,
in the States?
you do not get wasted.
Right.
Like, that is not.
They
and
don't
again,
drink.
I know it has
you
changed
don't
over the
drink
years.
green beer.
We do not drink. I never saw green beer until I came to
I
America.
did in Montreal. Yeah.
You get a day off school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a national holiday. You go to mass.
Oh,
you go to
because
church.
it's
a religious holiday. St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And then you have a meal. You have a meal with your family. So growing up, to me, that's what that holiday was.
Right.
And then the other great thing is St. Patrick's Day always falls during Lent.
Oh.
And
so you can't drink.
So you can't drink, but you always were, well, and I wasn't drinking as a child,
Right.
but we used to give up chocolate and
Yeah,
candy
yeah.
and sweets. And you were allowed to break your fast on that.
So you get a pass.
You get a pass on St. Patrick's Day. I was from a household where my mother would give us a pass, but our dad did not agree with that pass.
Got it.
He would say, Jesus didn't come
Take a
down
break.
from the mountain for a snack.
That's so fucking funny. That is so fucking funny. He's
But that's
like,
what he said.
he's
Jesus
like,
didn't
you
come
didn't get
down
a
for a
break
snack.
from the
I'm
cross.
like, well, he also wasn't Irish, and let's
Yeah,
not get
yeah.
into the whole thing
Right,
about
right.
what is real and not real in that book that you're talking about.
That's a whole different podcast.
It's like, yeah. So then I come to New York and I learn about St. Patrick's Day here and in America, and I remember vividly seeing my first pile of green vomit on the sidewalk in New York City. And the size of the parade. And listen, the wearing of the green and the proud Irish heritage, the Irish Americans love their Irishness. Like, it is such a big deal. But again, the history of the parade was to march in solidarity of being a community of Irish people who were really
the
put
Catholics,
down.
yeah, the Catholics were the one that
Yes.
didn't, you know.
So, but then it what happened? It got commercialized, right? That's
Right.
what happened
Well,
in
like
America.
Christmas,
Like every
like
freaking holiday.
everything.
And so now it turned into this thing. And when I see the people with the kiss me, I'm Irish. And then the other thing that drives me crazy is people use the clover, the
Right.
shape of a
Yeah,
clover.
yeah.
So the symbol, our Irish symbol, one of the symbols in Ireland, there's a harp and there's obviously our flag, but it's a shamrock.
Right.
It's the leaf, the 3 leaves that St. Patrick
Yeah.
folklore, legend described the Holy Trinity of the Catholic Church,
Uh-huh.
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Right.
So that's why. And then people are like, oh, I bigara, I got my clover. I'm like, oh, God, I need to teach you about the ways of the. My kids used to, I still do it, and it drives them crazy. Now they're embarrassed. They loved it when they were young, but I used to go to whatever school they were at around St. Patrick's Day and give a little speech called Fact or Folklore.
I thought you were going to call it Fuck St. Patrick's Day. I was like, wow, even the kids already? Like, okay. I was like, woo, she saved that one.
Right, fact or folklore.
Got it.
I love St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
I have had a huge St. Patrick's Day party.
No, I
ever since I
understand.
moved to America. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I do it authentically. And I try to just spread a little bit of
Reality.
a little bit of fact over the folklore. And we don't have what's the cereal, Lucky Charms, we
Right.
don't have
Ew.
that in
Right.
Ireland. We don't eat corned beef in Ireland. And that's
Right.
the other thing. Everyone here is like, whoa, corned beef and cabbage. I'm like, never
Yuck.
had corned beef in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, we have boiling ham, we have bacon, we have pork. That's what we eat.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm a year in, year out, I'm on a mission to get some
I
things
get
straight.
it.
But so now the whole idea, there's been actually a company, a group, an organization in New York that I've known for years called Sober St. Patrick's Day. And it's like giving the opportunity for people to celebrate whatever it is in their own way. And if
Right.
it's without alcohol, let's celebrate that instead of hiding that, you
Right.
know? And I keep going back to the why of this podcast is we just want to talk about our choosing to do this and how it's not only doable, but we've had these great experiences. So we've started, for everybody who's listening, we've started something called HappyAF Club, which is obviously just local right now to us here in Vermont. And we had a sort of a first little gathering a few weeks ago, and we're having, and it's doubled in size.
Right.
In like 1 month.
Right.
But one of the women in that chat group was just talking about how this podcast gave her the confidence and the security, or what word she was using, about going to work events and then everybody going to the bar afterwards and being able to just say, no, I don't drink alcohol, and say it with a smile on my face instead of being sheepish and going, oh no, I don't drink.
Right.
Why don't you drink?
And the thing that people forget is, like, I remember when I quit smoking, as hard as it is to quit a substance you're addicted to, like cigarettes was, at least, even though it was still, you could still smoke in bars and restaurants and stuff like that, the jig was out, right? They were like, it's bad for you, it's going to kill you, it's bad for your lungs. And no one would be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're quitting smoking. Like, everybody would encourage you. And the thing with alcohol is it's the same addictive substance.
I know. We're
It's
just not there.
known,
We're
but
not there.
we're not talking about it. So the reason why there are just not our podcast, but a lot of podcasts, is
Yes.
because when you quit drinking, you're kind of breaking away from the masses,
Yes.
and there's like a little bit of a spotlight
You're
for
going
you.
against the grain.
Yeah, and some people that makes them uncomfortable. Me, I love a spotlight, so I was like, bring it on.
Yes.
But what I did like, the reason I was listening to
You?
yeah, I
You
was
like a
like,
spotlight.
wait, excuse me,
Do
I'm
you?
here, over here, people. But the one thing when I quit drinking originally is, like, I was craving listening to what other people went through.
Yes.
Right? You know, I'm like, I don't want to go to AA for so many reasons that are just
Yes.
my own.
Yeah.
And so, but I was curious to hear, like what happened to you? Like, for instance, like,
Yes.
I had the shits for 5 years, right? That's what
Right,
one of the thing
right,
alcohol did to me.
right.
And so I would have to Google that, and then you end up on the dark web.
You're like, "Ugh."
But you
no,
know what I mean?
it's exactly what you're saying. And even in just this podcast, and as we are growing episode on episode, I mean, it's amazing how many listeners, subscribers, followers we have on social media after 10 episodes. Like,
Right.
it's really
And
bananas.
it's not. And for those who think that we're trying to preach for everybody to quit
No, no,
drinking,
no.
you
There's not
haven't
a
got. We don't give
single-
a fuck what
we-
you do.
no.
You do you.
No.
Okay, it's for
You
those that are
do
interested,
you.
and they're
Yes.
like, you know, sometimes I feel weird, or is it just me,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like, or sometimes you like. At first, when I quit drinking, you feel as though you're the only sad soul having to do
Yes,
that.
yes.
Right? And then so to just see that, oh, I'm not the only sad soul. There's other people that got under the jug of alcohol
Yeah.
and needed to break away with it,
It's
right?
my favorite word, and it's what we're doing with the podcast. It's what we're doing with HappyAF Club. It's community, right? It's a community of people who are experiencing something similar, who have the same goals or the same mindset or the same growth ideas about evolution of themselves as a person. And, you know, to talk about, again, like the whole idea of how the cultural shift is happening. I'm not the only person who gets
No, in
pissed
20
off when
years-
people say, oh, you're Irish, you must love drinking.
Right.
It's like, stop saying that, okay?
Right.
That's enough, okay? It's antiquated, it's misinformed, and oh my gosh, I got to tell you about this club. Did I tell you about this? No, this new club in New York.
Oh, yes, that you
called
like.
The
Yes,
Maze.
Right.
Shout out to the Maze.
it looks amazing, by the way.
It is amazing. Do you see what happened there?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Lovely.
That wasn't really very funny, but the Maze is this new alcohol-free club in New York. And it's the same thing. It's about community. It's building community. And how did I forget to talk about this? On St. Patrick's Day this year, I'm performing there.
I know, it's amazing.
I know. And
I
it's
hope I
like
can
a
make
whole
it.
alcohol-free St. Patrick's Day celebration. They're doing a special menu, and
And I'd
their
like to say
menu
on
is
that,
full of options.
and for
alcohol.
those who listen to that and are like, man, what the fuck are these girls like looking for a cult? I'd like to remind everyone that in the 90s, where you could smoke everywhere, it was starting that you would have a few restaurants that would be
Yes.
like, you know what? No smoking here.
Yes.
Okay. And no one was like, oh, look at them with their cult or their, you know what I'm saying? So this is just the beginning of, in 20 years, maybe half the restaurants would be this way.
There is no question.
You know what I mean?
There's no
and a
question.
lot. So I went to a party like 2 weeks ago or last week, I forget. My favorite neighbor in the universe of neighbors, Sarah, so sweet. It was our birthday. She's like the best person. I love her so much. Anyway, our
love
friends
her too.
kindly invited me to our little birthday celebration that we're having for her at their house.
Yeah.
I thought it was so nice they would even think of me. But my point is, like, there was just a few women, maybe like 10. And Sarah, who drinks, was, you know, so excited to tell me, like, she's like, by the way, because I was drinking my poison, she's like, I keep forgetting you don't drink because you're drinking wine all the
Yeah,
time. And I
yeah.
keep referring to it as wine.
Yeah.
And she says that I haven't changed. So great. But she's like, by the way, you realize here that 70% of women are not drinking? And I
Yeah.
was like, what? She's
Yeah.
like, yeah. She's like, this one doesn't drink. This one quit 60 years ago. This one quit 70 years
Yeah.
ago. And she's like, these two drink like maybe one glass at dinner, sometimes maybe.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, wow, that has changed. And by the way, had I been drinking, had this been over a year and a half ago,
Yes.
because I had to drive there, even though it's not far, I would have been the one person wanting to drink a lot more than all of these
Right,
women there.
right,
Because all of
right.
them were moderators
Yeah.
or abstainers. And like, so I would have been counting my drinks so that I can drive, but
yeah.
it would have been like painful.
Oh, and that is the thing.
Painful.
It's like that is one of the things for me that is the biggest relief.
The driving.
Is no, the
Oh,
thinking.
the thinking about it all the time. Yeah.
Thinking about, I
Yeah.
say this all the time, right? It's like I'm thinking about drinking. I'm thinking about not drinking. I'm thinking about how much I'm drinking. I'm thinking about when I'm going to have a hangover. Like that whole space in my brain
Right.
has now been freed up.
And by the way, Brooks wants me because when you sent me like the culture thing, and I was like, I have nothing to talk about. And he was like, oh man,
I
if
mean,
if
hell will freeze
he's
over
like, you
the
know,
day we
that's
have
what
nothing to
that's
talk
what he
about.
said.
Yeah.
He's like, you can talk about fucking beige paint. That's his favorite thing. But he reminded me culturally because I was like, French Canadians are not known here, so there's nothing to talk about. But so Brooks is like partly Norwegian, so we've been to Norway a bunch of times, and there's several
Well,
funny
by
stories.
the way, it's cleaned up at the Olympics.
Oh my God, of course. They're born with skis on their fucking feet, right? But so we were invited
The
to
Irish, by the way.
what? Were they there?
No. Yes, we were.
They
we-
were at the Olympics?
Yes.
Oh.
We had a team of 4.
Oh. That's very funny. What, curling? Like you don't think when you think Winter Olympics, you
Listen,
don't
we're
think
famous for a
Irish.
lot of shit, okay?
Right, but like
And
that's not gonna be it. But anyways, Norwegian. So we were invited to this family party. It was like 90 people. Okay. And it was during the day. We show up. It's a huge barbecue. They killed the lamb, literally. Okay,
Oh,
because they have a
wow.
farm and all that. Actually, the guy was really funny. I was like, "It's not hard. Like you killed your own lamb." He's like, "Well, that one didn't have a name." I thought it was hysterical. Anyways,
I
so
have a friend who is a farmer and she doesn't like to call it slaughter. She
Right.
calls it harvesting. She's like,
That's
I'm going
pretty
to
funny.
harvest
You
the
have
pigs.
to. You have to. Otherwise, it's impossible, right?
I'm like,
so yeah, this is why
okay,
this,
whatever-
there's like, he's
whatever
like,
you say.
we don't name all of them. Anyway, there's like 90 people there. Most people are young, like super cool people. Like Norwegian people are so funky. They're like a different brand of weird, but in a funny, funky, weird way. Like good weird.
Yeah, yeah.
No fucking booze. And I'm like, what? And I was on the sauce back then. I'm like, this is not going to happen. Right. So we have this 3-hour, 4-hour outdoor, beautiful setting by the ocean barbecue, except it was pissing rain. So they had a tent, but doesn't matter. Gorgeous food. No booze. I looked at Brooks. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
But they're not a big drinking nation,
guess
are
what?
they?
They are, but in hiding. Here's
Oh.
why.
Wow.
Because their drinking and driving laws are so strict. that I believe even the people that throws the party can be held accountable. So if you're between 0.5, 0.02 and 0.05, which is well below here,
Yes.
you get like the fine, they take your monthly salary and they do that times 1.5. That's the fine. And you lose your permit, which is, you have to pay for a permit, and it's very expensive. I can't remember how much it was they gave me, but it was hundreds and hundreds
no
of dollars.
wonder they don't drink.
You lose your permit for 12 to 18 months. If you're between like 0.5 and 0.8, you can go to jail. I mean, it's really, really strict, like stupid strict.
Well, I mean, that's one way to put you off. I mean,
that's it.
Honestly,
it works. So,
you know,
but the thing is, as much as I was upset about not drinking, at first I was like, fuck. I was like, how am I going to stay here?
Yeah.
And everybody speaks English, but like all funny, more funny than me. So I was like, oh shit, this is going to suck. But after a half hour, so I'm trapped there. There's no me leaving. And we're in agricultural land. There's no delis to go buy booze. It's not happening. I need to cross this shit off my mind, right? I'm trapped 3 hours in a party, no booze. And after I got over the hump of not being able to drink, it took maybe an hour, and I was forced to forget about it, I actually had a great time.
Yeah.
Now, great time. And I remember thinking like, oh, I had a good time, but I wasn't ready to quit then. So we got back to the hotel and we had told them, hey, can you start the sauna? When we come back, we're going to do a sauna and go jump in the ocean. By the time we got back, I ordered 2 bottles of wine and like, fuck the sauna. I was just got wasted.
Listen, it's the thing that we do to ourselves, right? It's, we're telling ourselves these lies.
A lot of it was me.
It was you telling yourself. There was nobody there going, Isabelle,
No.
it's time to drink.
No.
This was you going, I need it. I want it. I'm not going to be able to relax without it.
Correct.
And we're just slowly, and I think, you know, the example of Sarah's party, of the number of women now of our age group who are just saying, you know what? I was out for dinner last night and this lovely woman that I play tennis with in the summer came up to me and she was like, you know what? I love not drinking now. I just love being the person I don't worry about it anymore. I don't sit down and go, oh God, I'm the one not drinking. And the fact that we need to get there, but you need to get there. And the more it is normalized, as again, I say, listen, if you have all the information and you decide you want to drink, you knock yourself out.
That's it.
But I need you to not judge me for not drinking. I need you to let me talk about my not drinking if I want to talk about it on a podcast or on the stage or anywhere else. And
by the way, it's not uncommon to get addicted to an addictive substance.
Yes.
So a lot of people feel like, oh yeah, she had to quit, you know, she got hooked. Well, get me and probably you too. You just don't know. Like, it's an addictive substance.
Yes.
And a lot of people out there are addicted to it and they don't even realize it.
They don't even realize it. But even, you know, I watched this feed into the problem with my family member for so many years.
Right.
He wouldn't, I mean, and this was a guy who lost jobs, girlfriends, family members, was in jail. Like, I mean, true bad situation, and would not, for so many years, would not say, don't call me an alcoholic. I don't want that stigma. I don't want that label. And so that was the harmful thing for so many people. And still, I mean, I am at an age now, and having again worked in show business for the last 25 years, I don't give a shit what label you give me.
Oh, me neither.
I know who I am. I know what my relationship with alcohol was, and I am so happy that it ended. And I will never, ever look back, and I will never regret those years.
Oh, God,
but
no.
I'm so excited about the future that doesn't involve it. And now, again, you know, to circle it back to St. Patrick's Day, the article I read in one of the Irish newspapers the other day about the alcohol-free sales. So alcohol-free Guinness, it's called Guinness 0.0.
Apparently it's delicious.
And
I haven't
so
tried
many
it.
people. Now,
I'm not a beer person.
I'm not a beer person.
I don't
dark
drink
stout.
beer.
I don't like any beer.
I like the stuff, but I like this much of it. And apparently the Guinness 0, my husband says it's like really close to real deal.
So many people who are stout drinkers.
Love it.
Where I come from in Cork, we have another one called Murphy's, and I don't actually know if Murphy's have a 0.0. They must do. But the 1,500 pubs are now serving it on tap, on draft.
Wow.
The sales of Guinness 0.0 have quadrupled in the last couple of years. And it's just so lovely. And when I was home last summer, my cousin was saying to me, she was like, oh, you know what a lot of people are doing? Even if people are not saying, I don't drink anymore, they're calling, did you know about this term called zebraing or striping, zebra striping?
What? What's that?
So it's you drink an alcoholic drink and then a non-alcoholic.
To try to dilute the amount you're drinking.
Yeah. So a lot of people who would go to the pub on a Friday night and have 5, 6, whatever,
they'll mix it.
Of Guinness are now doing alternating.
Wow.
So they're having a pint of Guinness and then an alcohol from Guinness.
That's good.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the shift. It's the cultural shift in our society, regardless of your nationality. People are now more aware. And I love the idea when someone, like you were saying the other day, I mean, it brought tears to our eyes when a woman wrote to us on Instagram and was like, thank you for making me feel empowered. To say, I don't want to drink anymore and not feel weird about it.
And by the way, like for those who are like, well, like, why do you have to talk about it all the time? Well, first of all, we don't go out. I don't go out in the world talking about it all the time. I wait to have a microphone because I think that's a lot more fun, number one. And number two, it's because, again, we are still at a stage that the people that choose to not drink, it's like a big deal. You're going against the grain. You're going against big alcohol. There's still a very big lobby. Look, in Quebec, like this.
You're being punished in a freaking restaurant.
Punished, like I'm doing, like I'm bringing fucking cocaine. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people that quit feel as though they need to talk about it. And plus, when you quit something addictive, it's hard at first. Your body wants it. Your mind wants it because you've been self-medicating. It takes a minute. And it's like something brand new. Like I said before, when you get a new set of tits, my friends that I have, that's all they talk about at first. My aunt, I have this beautiful story. Shout out to my Aunt Mimi. Speaking of something new and shiny, nothing to do with booze, but I need...
Are you going to tell me she just got new boobs?
No, worse. She's my spirit animal. Aunt Mimi is going to be 87. She's 4'11". She takes no prisoner. Her boyfriend is 80, and she lied about her age until not long ago, right?
Love it.
So love her. And Aunt Mimi smoked a pack a day till she was 70, quit. She has OCPD. You look at her face and she has no wrinkles. Like she just got lucky. She's not even yellow. You're like, how the fuck did you do it? Well, guess what? Aunt Mimi was very vain. My mother too. That side of the family, like, you know, if you can be dumb, you can be mean.
It's not right.
In my family, that's how you can be dumb, you can be mean, you can be criminal, but goddamn it, you're not going to be ugly. Okay, so that's how they roll. She decided at 86 that she did not like waking up in the morning and seeing herself pale. Well, guess what? She got permanent makeup. She got her eyebrows tattooed. She got an eyeliner tattooed, and she got natural lipstick tattooed. Fucking A. And she looks amazing.
First of all, I didn't know this was a thing.
Yes.
What do you mean permanent?
Tattooed. She had lost her eyebrows. And she found that her lips were too pale, you know, at 86. So she got tattooed her eyebrow. She got tattooed a little eyeliner here, and she got tattooed a very light pink lipstick.
So what, they make your lips a color that stays that way?
Yes.
This is freaking,
and
what
she looks
on earth?
Amazing.
Like my own grandmother now.
Like,
what will they think of next?
I mean, but she looks great. But you know, how many women that age are gonna? They're gonna be like, fuck it, I missed the boat. And she called my mom the other day.
Don't get me started on missing the boat.
She was like, no, that's another podcast. It's not even on our radar. She calls my mom like it's been about 2 weeks, so she's still a new thing. And every morning she wakes up and she can't believe what she sees.
Right.
And every morning she calls my mom. She's like, I should have done this before. I look 10 years younger. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love myself. It's so awesome.
Can I tell you, I
love it.
I often think the same thing about drinking. I'm like, God, I feel
your new
so
toy.
good.
It's your new toy.
Like, I feel so good, and I get to feel like this forever and ever and ever.
Right.
And we're just going to share the joy one episode at a time. And okay, next episode, by the way, we're going to do our first location shoot.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And next one, I hope it's Bora Bora or something like that.
Okay, well, this one, we're just going down the road to Dorset.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Fiji?
We're gonna
No?
start
No.
there.
Okay.
No, actually, it's all on our future. And to talk about, again, just to finish on Aunt Mimi's, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
I feel like at 50, I often forget how old I am. 52. I am so excited about the next decade of my life. I'm so excited about all of the things that I have yet to do in my career, in my travel, everything. And the fact that I have freed up all the brain space that I used to have clogged up with, I might be hungover after that day. I might
Oh, that was
gone.
a big one.
It's over.
Yes, that
It's
was
done.
a big one. Or, well, no, I can't go there because I'm drinking at that time.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I would start drinking very early
yes,
and I
yes.
didn't want to drive.
Yeah.
So if someone was like, can we have like dinner at 7? I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to.
You're like, no
way.
way.
I can't
Sorry. I
drive
was
at
going to go for 5:30, but I
Yes.
will settle on a 6.
You
I
know
will
what I mean?
settle
Right.
on a
By
6.
then,
Like
I'm-
our Happy AF club in our next
That's right.
meeting. I was like, hey, everybody, all right, 6 o'clock.
But that's
6
for a
o'clock.
different reason, Whereas like before when I was
Yes,
drinking,
yes,
it's because
yeah.
I'd
Oh,
be
you were-
several
right.
glasses in.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, listen, always fun. I love that we
Always
get to
fun.
do this. And I want to thank all of our listeners. We're a really growing community, and a lot of you have written in and thanked us for just sharing our stories and having fun. We're here to entertain you first. And if there's a little shot of inspiration on the side, you want to feel part of our community, we just love having you. So thanks for listening. Follow us on all the various different social media platforms, HappyAFPodcast.com. Subscribe, and we will see you next time for episode 11. Mwah. I'm
Happy St.
Maxine.
Patrick's.
Happy alcohol-free, happy St. Patrick's, and happy...
As fuck, as always.
We've just always got to finish with that. Okay. Mwah.
Have a good one.